Good morning, guys. Welcome to the bird's nest. You know what I always say? Please like, comment, and subscribe for all your NFL recaps, news, and gossip. So, let's get started right away with these games yesterday. First of all, happy Victory Monday for me. Everybody I wanted to win won. But we're going to start with my what do I need to call them? My 1B team, the Cleveland Browns, of course. It's all about the Cleveland Browns this season for me. That's who I've been watching. So, I didn't get to watch the game yesterday because I didn't get to watch the whole game. For the first half of the game, I was on a flight, and because of the ding dang YouTube couldn't get my location, they would not let me watch the game on the plane. But I did listen to the play-by-play, and so I did know what was happening. And you know, I got to give it up to Kevin Stefanski. But you know I don't love him. In fact, I don't like him. But I got to give it up to him because finally, 6 games in, right? That was 6 games? Seven. 7 games in. He finally did something different. No dink and dunk. You know, they must have looked at film and decided how to beat the doo-doo out of the Miami Dolphins. And I'm impressed that he appears to finally have come off of the Dylan Gabriel experiment. You know, he was QB1, but the scheme was designed around him. Like it excluded him. He still almost managed to find a way to mess it up. He almost threw 2 picks yesterday. One slipped through the guy's fingers again. He's so lucky with that. And then another one got called back by the refs. Some people say it was questionable. I didn't watch that part, but people were saying that part was questionable. And you know, somebody wanted Dylan to not look terrible. It seemed. I don't know. But he was a non-factor. So Quinshawn Judkins balled out. Let's see if he will be nominated for Rookie of the Week this time. Remember the last time that he balled out and kept them in the game for some reason. Dylan Gabriel was nominated for Rookie of the Week, and Quinshawn wasn't. That was very strange. But this time, Quinshawn deserves it. I'm just be looking at some stats here. Well, let's start with Dylan. So remember in the last game, Dylan threw 50 something passes. You know, and they lost. It was terrible. It looked terrible. But this time, he only even attempted 18. And he completed 13 of those. So at least, you know, it's not many, but at least it's a decent completion percentage. 116 yards. I'm sure a lot of those came in garbage time. You know, he just wasn't a factor yesterday. In fact, they took him off the field completely when they were in the red zone. That told me everything I needed to know about Kevin finally coming to the realization that no matter how hard I try, I cannot make this boy be him. So let me just stop trying. And let me work around him. And so that's what he did. It was all about Quinshawn yesterday. So Quinshawn had 25 carries yesterday for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he did have one 46-yard touchdown. He ran for 46 yards. But even with that one, he had an average of 3.4 yards per carry. So he just was, it was all him. You know, it wasn't, instead of the dinking and the dunking, it was all running, all running. So that's what he did. Whether it be a little bit or a lot, they went to Quinshawn. Um, let's just look at the receivers because, you know, again, it wasn't really about them yesterday. It wasn't about the receivers. It was about defense and Quinshawn. But Harold Fannin did get 4 receptions for 36 yards. Um, he had 5 targets. So 4 or 5 is excellent. Jamari Thrash, 1 target for 23 yards. I'm sorry, 1 reception, 2 targets. Jerry Jeudy had 2 receptions, 2 or 4. You know how Jerry is. He's got to get his drops in for 17 yards. Malachi Corley. He popped up yesterday. I never even heard of him before. 2 receptions for 17 yards. No touchdowns for the wide receivers yesterday. Dylan Sampson, 1 reception for 9 yards. You know. Ooh. Gage Larvadain only got 1 on target yesterday. I don't recall that he was in much. But it was all about the defense yesterday, honey. The defense came out there to win. Blake Whiteheart got a fumble. Okay, let's talk about that defense. Carson Schwessinger, we already know he's him. He got 7 total tackles. 3 of those were solo. Devin Bush, 6 tackles. Alex Wright, 5 tackles. Grant Delpit, 4 tackles. 3 solo, 1 sack. So he got a sack. Jerome Baker got a sack. Myles Garrett got a sack. 2 is terrible. But the defense was on him. So they figured out how to win. And that'll work. That worked against Miami with Quinshawn just running constantly. That's not going to work with everybody. But Miami has a terrible defense, and so it worked with them. And they can try it with other teams that have a bad defense. We'll have to see what the game plan is for next week because they're playing the Patriots, and that's a real team. I would like for them to win. I like the win. Let me tell you why I like the win, because normally I root against them until they put Shador in, but these are the kind of wins I like. I want them to win because I want them to still be in playoff contention when Shador gets in. I don't know what he's capable of doing. I don't know if he's capable of winning 7 games or 8. I think it's going to have to be 8 to get them in the playoffs. But I'd like to see them try. And if they're still in, the team will still be checked in and giving their best and trying to get there. So that's why I'm happy. Flacco got 1 win. Too bad he couldn't get 2. And now under Dylan, they got 1 win, although Dylan had nothing to do with it. And let's see what happens next week. Again, even though Dylan, Stefanski clearly has accepted that Dylan is not him, I'm still expecting Shador after the bye because it's the best time. Gives him 2 weeks to get ready. But I could totally see it happening this week. But I don't think it will. I don't think it will, but it could. Because Dylan has proven he's a backup at best. And if you want to make a playoff run, and it's so difficult being a Cleveland watcher because their fans are so defeated. Just going in the season, writing them off. And I'm excited about this team. I'm excited. It's a good team. And I know they're going to be great when Shador gets out there. They know it too. And even in Miles' in his presser after the game, he's like great when still not satisfied. Because like I told y'all, Miles is 2 seconds away from saying, I want Shador. I know he's advocating for him in the building. I bet others are also. So he's coming. He's coming after the bye. This is what I think. What is this supposed to be? I just now came. Um, I quit YouTube, by the way. Love your screen name. This is a recap of some games. I'm not like some football guru that's gonna give you all the X's and O's and play by play. I just do it from my little standpoint with the stats and how I felt about the game. That's what this is. This is a recap, sweetie. Welcome to the show, and thanks for watching. I hope you'll stay or come back. You know, I have my recaps are my least entertaining videos because it's just about what happened in the game, and there's only so much you can do with that. But I'm also a Shador Sanders fan, and if you hate that, you probably wouldn't like me, and you wouldn't like my content. But I'm a Panthers fan, as you can see. So we can move on. But oh well, let me not move on. So Miles is still saying we got to find other ways to win. So this is what I want to see from Stefanski. Now that we know he's capable of not being stubborn and doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, despite the horrible results. He conferred with his staff. That's what he said. He named like 3 of them that put their heads together and came up with this game plan for yesterday. And it was an awesome plan, and it was awesome to see something different from them. We still don't get to see the fun stuff. You know, the passing down the field. We haven't had that all season from Cleveland. So you're gonna have to watch other games for that. It's when I watch other games and I'm like, wow, real football. It's so good to see. Because I've been watching Cleveland more than anyone because of Shador, even though he's not playing. And it's painful to watch them and never see long passes. Ever. So I'm hoping that they'll come up with a game plan next week to at least be competitive against the Patriots. But they out there balling. So I don't know. If Shador doesn't play, I don't really expect them to win. But we'll see what happens. If the defense can pull something out. If Quinshawn can pull something out. If he can not care about concussions like Scatterboo and lead with his head. And try to headbutt people out the way. But I'm looking forward to it and hoping that they will get creative again and not try to dink and dunk. The dink and dunk is not going to work. I know that's what you need to do when Dylan is in because you can't trust him to throw down the field. The boy keeps throwing picks left and right that keep getting dropped or called back. He keeps getting saved from those picks that he's throwing. So you really can't scheme for him to be throwing down the field. You really can't. Like, he's going to have to get creative with that. If you keep him into one more game and you actually want to win, like you want to try to win. I don't even know. Like, they say that a coach came out and said he was directed. He was offered incentives for losing. So I know that Cleveland is capable of that, and I don't know why. I remember the Giants won a game at the end of last season. I wanted Shador to go to the Giants. And they won a game at the end of the season that removed them at the last minute from getting the #1 pick. And I was like, what you doing? What you doing, man? You need to get Shador before he's off the board. Little did we know what was coming. But they want to play to win. So the way Cleveland does it, you can't make the players play to lose. They ain't playing for no draft picks. Cleveland does it from the top down. If you sabotage them from the top down, from the coach, then it's not up to them. They be doing some crazy stuff. I hate that Shador, well, I like that Shador is there and is causing the spotlight to be on them and the things that they do. And I think maybe that encouraged Stefanski to get creative in yesterday's game, because now everybody's looking at you and they're seeing what you're doing and they're seeing you failing at what you're doing. And so now they're calling for you to be fired. And I know he heard that noise, and I think he got creative. And I hope he does going forward. I'm going to hold out hope for the man, even though I don't like him. But on to my Carolina Panthers, because we are 4-3. We are above 500 for the first time since 2021. And yeah, we beat the Jets yesterday. And everybody can beat the Jets. And the Browns got the Jets coming up on their schedule. But so what? We beat them. We beat some good teams too. Who do we beat? I can't remember. I'm not even gonna think about it. But we didn't beat them convincingly. We only had one touchdown in the game, but the Jets are so bad that was enough, because they only had a field goal all game. And Justin Fields got benched. Ooh, that's humiliating. And you know that the Jets tried to get Shador. Now, G. Bush confirmed that. The Jets did try to get Shador last week. And so did the Bengals. That's how they wound up with Flacco, because whatever's going on in there at the Cleveland Browns, they are unwilling to give up Shador. I don't know what the asking price was. Even before G. Bush said that the Jets came for him, I had seen somebody say, I think it was on Twitter, so I gave it no credibility. It meant nothing to me. But they said that the Jets tried to get Shador, and they wanted, the Browns wanted a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick for Shador. That's a very steep price. He's worth it. I know he's worth it. But I don't know if that's true. But that's what they said. They wanted a 2nd round and a 5th round for Shador. That's just the same as saying, no, you can't have him. Period. Because they know who he is. And I'm telling you that the Miles, he's in that locker room. He's in those offices. He's back there saying, okay, when we going to stop this nonsense and put our best quarterback out there? Anyway, so the Panthers are doing well. That's, I had to rep my squad. But the big game was the Giants and the Broncos. And that was like a hard one for me, because Bo Nix is one of my favorite rookies from last year. And I just really like him. And then Jackson Dart is one of my favorite rookies from this year. So, I was going back and forth about who do I want to win? And in the end, I was like, that's right. I forgot. I hate Brian Daboll, so I want the Broncos to win. I'll go with them. And in that final quarter, oh my God, heart palpitations. It was going back and forth and back and forth. They came back. First of all, I just wrote the game off. I thought that the Giants won, and I was like, go Jackson, that's my boy. And then here come the Broncos in the 4th quarter. Scored 33 points. And still, Jackson was battling it out. Man, Jackson is a dog, okay? I can't stand that Daboll, and I'm glad they lost, and I hope he gets fired. But Jackson is him. Scatterboo, I know they make a good team and everything, but he's going to hurt himself. He's going to. He's just begging for a concussion, and it's going to happen eventually. But Jackson hung in there. He got a touchdown. He reached out for it. But apparently Bo is not to be messed with in the 4th quarter. He doesn't give up. He keeps fighting. And that's what he did yesterday. And he won. In the final second, they got a field goal. The Giants, on the extra point, the kicker missed the field goal. That made all the difference in the world. They lost by 1 point. They beat the Cowboys. Who beat the Cowboys? Has who beat the Cowboys yesterday? Where's my mouse? No, didn't nobody beat the Cowboys yesterday? Oh, the Panthers beat the Cowboys, but that's not the only one. So they beat like two good teams. That's not the only one. Thank you. We beat the Cowboys. Look, now I discriminate. I do discriminate. Please forgive me. I can't stand short quarterbacks. So I want our quarterback on, and I wanted us to get Shador. Shador. But they're satisfied with his play this season, and especially now that we have a winning record, he ain't going nowhere. We're going to have to deal with this middle schooler quarterback. That's what size he is. Yes. Okay, yes, you're right. They did, well, no, I didn't even know. I haven't been keeping up with the Panthers. Look, they lose so much, and plus I'm like on a Bryce Young boycott. I want him out of here so bad. I think he has the pieces this year, and I said that after the draft. I said he has the pieces that now between last draft and this draft. He has the pieces to, if he's any good, he can make something happen with what he has. And he's been making something happen. But if they had Shador, they'd be better. So, great games for me yesterday. All my people won, and the Browns won in the way that I needed them to win without Dylan. Because if Dylan balls out, any week that Dylan balls out will push back Shador's entry. And he has not balled out any week. He's a great backup. Better than all them backups that played yesterday, honey. People was getting, between the injuries and players getting benched. Who else got benched besides Justin Fields? He wasn't the only one. Who was it? Geno Smith got benched yesterday. And they put Stefanski's number one choice as QB1 out there. And that boy fumbled for what do you call it? You don't call it a pick six when it's a fumble, right? Because he fumbled it, they got it, and they ran in. On his first play. And that's normal for Kenny Pickett. I don't know what's the look. I hope that when Shador gets in, oh, that was one thing I didn't mention. So a lot of us were upset that Shador didn't get in yesterday, but you know what? The Browns told us what it was. To the national media, they gave the story, and they told us what it was. They don't want Shador getting in on a Dylan game. They want his first time on the field to be his game. So we should stop being surprised every week that he's not put in garbage time. Because what would be the point of that? Maybe he could have thrown for a touchdown or something. I don't know. I know he wants to get out there. I know he wants to so bad. You know, when he spoke to Shiloh, he thought he was going to get out there. He was warming up. And so he wants to. But they said it. They told Ian Rappaport. He's not getting in on Dylan's game. He's getting in on his own game. That's how that's going to go. So, okay. We got to accept that, y'all. It's okay. Especially if it works out the way I think it's going to work out, and Dylan just gets 4 games like Flacco got. If Dylan gets 4 games like Flacco got, that leaves 8 games. That's 8, 12, 9 games for Shador. Because, of course, once Shador gets in, he's taking that job. Shador, unless they trade him away by the trade deadline, which is November 9th, Shador will be the franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. A lot of their fans don't want to accept it. You know, they find us Shador fans to be quite annoying. And you know, I know that I personally go out of my way to be annoying. If you talk bad about him, I'm coming back at you, buddy. I'm sorry. And they think that's annoying. They want to be able to talk bad about him in peace. And sometimes I let them. I let them sometimes. But sometimes I feel like arguing. Sometimes I be having time. They don't like that. Has get out of town. You think so? Who? What? Traded for what? He's not. What is a backup? Who would get him? Who would take him? I was thinking about that. Like Miami wanted him initially, from what I heard. They wanted to draft him, but the Browns took him so early. Like they took him off the board so early. Anybody that had plans for him at the spot where he was supposed to be, the Browns took him off the board. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, we're gonna see some moves before that trade deadline. And you see they were successful without Njoku yesterday. They got Harold Fannin Jr. What did I say about him? How Harold do? Yeah. Harold had the most receptions yesterday and yards, 36. Yeah. So you know, everybody keeps talking about Njoku being traded, and so I kind of think he will be. But what are they going to trade him for? Are they going to trade him for a wide receiver? I told y'all already. The Browns already got wide receivers. They on the practice squad, getting that perfect timing with Shador. And I need them to get in the game when he gets in the game. Don't be putting no Jerry Judy out there with he's mid. And I hope that Shador is also getting timing with Isaiah Bond because hey, they thought when they got Isaiah Bond, they thought they hit the jackpot, and he never even gets targeted. Did he? No. Is he injured? He wasn't even. He had no targets yesterday. None. So maybe is he injured? I don't know. But they thought he was him. So I hope that Shador's working with him. I do. I don't know, but Dylan can't carry the Browns anywhere. No, he can't. But he. You know, I've been saying since like OTAs. You know, we were getting the reports out of camp that he wasn't great. We were already getting that, and so I was always thinking of him like because in college he had the good completion percentage. Boy, was that deceptive. But at that time, I was thinking he would be a good backup for Shador. You know. I don't know, but Dylan can't carry the Browns anywhere. I feel like him playing is to show other teams he's a solid quarterback. Oh, hey, well, damn. Anytime I want to say something to stick up for him, I think about something that you know scratches it off. Like they say, well, he has no turnovers. Yeah, but he done threw 7 picks that got dropped or thrown or taken back. So those are turnovers. Eventually they gonna catch them picks. I don't know what's going on with them not catching his picks. Well, one of the folks on my live the other day said they thought that it was because of him being left-handed, and they thought it would be a problem for him in Miami because they can catch left-handed balls because Tua is left-handed, and in fact they did catch one and they called it back. He always been protected and still is being protected, but Kevin won't be able to continue to hide it. Right, right. I need them to stop. Like Kevin needs to give that up. He has a playoff caliber team. They have everything they need except a quarterback, and they playing all these games, and I don't get it. That's what makes me think: are they trying to throw the season? What you want? More picks, more picks. How many picks do y'all want? I don't get it. Why they play like this and do these things? It's so weird to watch. So, like I said, I hope that they could somehow get a win against the Patriots. Dylan won't help them do it. They will have to scheme something creative for Quinshawn to get through that defense. That's the only way if they're going to keep Dylan in there, because Dylan's not going to help you win against any. You couldn't even use him to win against Miami. I was looking for the face off between the two Hawaiians. Tua was trash, and they just schemed poor Dylan out the game. They were like, let's work around him. Hey, Sandra. My vacation was very relaxing. Normally when I go on vacation, I'm excursion girl. I'm ripping and running every single day. But life has been stressful for me, and I needed to just relax. So I sat on, you see, I'm sun-kissed. I sat on the beach and tan. That's all I did. No excursions, no water sports, none of the stuff I normally do. But it was what I needed, and I feel so refreshed and ready to take on the world. It's too much work, and the team is frustrated, but I guess we will see. Yeah. So, but that's that. I can't stay on all day. I just wanted to do my little recap, and shout and give Stefanski props, for once, for doing something different and having success. And I need them to be looking at that film and trying to have success next week. 3 wins before Shador gets in gives him a chance. I mean, a very slim. Like, Shador would have to be totally 1,000% what I think he is to pull it off. But what if he is? And he can pull it off. With this defense and Quinshawn and his deep, beautiful passes, oh, I think they could do it. I think they can make a playoff run this year, and I'm a lunatic. I said they could make a Super Bowl run next year. They just got to get it together and get it through their thick skull. I'm going to keep looking at Kevin Stefanski for the rest of the year and see how this play calling goes. I'm not letting him off the hook because he did something different one time. I'm going to keep an eye on him and see if I should be hoping that he gets fired at the end of the season before we make a Super Bowl run with Shador. We'll see. Or, who knows? Shador might get traded before the trade deadline. Teams want him. Well, at least the Jets and the Bengals called about him that we know of. This week, well, last week now. Last week, 2 teams called about Shador. So, who knows? Maybe one of them will get desperate enough. The Jets need to be desperate enough. They don't have no quarterback. And if the Browns are saying we want a 2 and a 5 for him, it might be worth it to give it to him. Try to find another way to get some picks. I don't know. I don't really want Shador on the Jets. I want him on the Browns because they got a team. I'm not aware that the Jets have a team. Browns got a team. Playoff caliber. Just need to insert Shador and stir. So, that's that. Thanks for listening, guys. You know I will keep my ear to the street. You know my ears stay to the street. And I will report back anything I hear. We're expecting trades to be happening over the next... What's today? Yeah. 1, 2... Over the next 3 weeks. So we got 3 weeks to be waiting for these trades to happen. Trades will be happening. And Shador could be one of them. Or like my boy Has says, it could be Dylan Gabriel. I just don't think anybody wants him. Maybe as a backup. I mean, they are needy, and yeah, I still can't. I can't think of anybody wanting him for QB1. He would have to be the backup. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. But For now, please don't forget to press a like for your girl, pretty please. And I hope you subscribe and come back. Like I said, my recaps are my most boring posts. But when I have news and when I have gossip, are more fun. And I keep my ear to the street, so if you don't hear about something, I'm going to bring it to you first. With sources. I don't play. And if it's gossip, I'll tell you it's gossip. Y'all have a good day. I hope your team did well, if depending on who it is. If you one of my three, Panthers, Browns, and Bo Nix. I like Michael Penix too, but he lost. Hopefully your team won. But y'all have a good week. Until next time. Mwah.